Hey, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, as always, I'd like to start off giving all honor and glory, infinite praise and worship to our power, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, RAWCHAA, HAQADASH. Double honor to our apostle, elder bishop, great millstone, rule well, peace, citation to the hopeful elect. All right, and this your brother Kadash, representing Jim as branch here in Cleveland, Lord willing, to bring out an edifying lesson through the spirit and power of YAHWASHI, Lord willing, it is edifying. Just quick and straight to the point. It was a video I was watching. Something I was meditating on, and then watching this video from Apostle Tahar, it just confirmed my meditation, the thought that I was given from the Holy Spirit, from YAHWASHI, BAHASHAM, HAQADASH. And yeah, it was the elder was talking about Sweden. Okay, the elder Kazakh. All right, it's the video that Apostle Tahar is responding to. We were always right, why now? And the elder Kazakhs was why now, Motb. And Lord willing, I just wanted to show something significant here with Sweden. All right, I always thought Sweden, like, why is they issuing? This is what I was thinking to myself when we first started to come across like the 2020 clips and the 2019 clips, 2018 clips, I believe, 2020 clips, 2021 clips about Sweden being majority cashless, and a lot of, like, whatever percent of them have, you know, the Motb already. So it always stuck in my mind, like, why do they promote Sweden so much? Like, why is this the focus? Because China don't have the Motb implemented in their civilians right now. And China, yeah, like the elder said in the video, obviously China is a model for the U.S. what to be, or what they want to be, or what they're trying to do. All right, China is a puppet state, okay? It's another just a so-called an alliance to America, man. All right, where they can stay rich. China got rich off America. All these nations did. And so with that being said, China is a model in which America is trying to adopt. And Sweden also is a model in which America is trying to adopt. Okay, one area they have focused on the surveillance part of the technology, the facial recognition, the biometrics of the system. Bio means the body, and the metrics meaning the measurements, the different measurements of the body, from facial recognitions to fingerprints to iris with your eyes to body heat, all right, to the things inside the body, and so forth and so forth. These different things were being studied and analyzed in detail in China. On the other side, you have the actual Karagma, all right, the actual Motb, the CHIP, the chip, all right, being implemented in real time into humans, all right, not just pets, into humans on the other side, okay, perfecting that within the body itself. Okay, and so like the title says, we were always right. Why now, Motb? Because we're in the end of prophecy. All right, we're reaching the ending of the final major prophecies, all right, that's stated before our salvation. And I wanted to show Sweden, with all that being said. So the elder Kazakh brought out this guy. I saw this dude before, never knew his name. It says, meet one of the founders of the Swedish Biohacker Association. Now, I want to show you something real quick. All right, and then I'm gonna play this. Let me play this.
And it's a big thing. You know, this model, because Sweden is a model, it's coming to the entire planet Earth. Also China. China is a model. It's coming to the entire planet Earth.
Exactly. So it's coming to the entire planet Earth. Now peep game, right? So the elder mentioned this guy. It says, being curious about experimenting with embodied technology that explores what the human body is fundamentally capable of doing in the future. Joe Blot, right, is his name. Hanas Joe Blot. I think the S is silent. I don't know. And he's co-founded Bio Nickfoot. It's not here. Bio Nifican, a non-profit organization that gathers together biohackers, DIY biologists, body hackers, citizen scientists, and self-enthusiasts in Sweden. Associate works on implant. It says the association works on implant projects that aim to help develop new generations of implants with wider capabilities that make everyday activities easier and simpler. It says Joe Blot, who has also implemented a chip under the skin in his hand. So he already has the MOTB. Okay. It says points out that now is the time to put C-hips in humans after almost 20 years of being put in animals. The Swedish cyborg with an easygoing style of communication is also a popular speaker and business advisor in tech trends. So he has it and he's pushing out. Watch this. Now I typed in some. Now if you don't know, Sweden. Okay, I wanted to see what they were gonna say. What started in Sweden financial? I wanted to see if they was gonna get an answer, and they kind of did. So a couple of things started in Sweden, right? Sweden is where one of the first central banks was founded. It says Sweden's Sveriges Riksbank, founded 1668. It's often called the world's oldest central bank. It pioneered early forms of monetary policy and no issues. You see that? And it still stands today. It's still being ran out of today. Now, what's so significant about Sweden is that, number 2, first European banknotes. Now, I thought this was interesting through the spirit because what is the world dominated by today? What is the currency that is dominating the earth right now? A banknote. Okay? A literal banknote. Paper. The first paper note comes out of Sweden. Listen closely. The first banknote comes out of Sweden. They're saying one of the first central banks comes out of Sweden. Now, I'll take it in through observation. I believe these people to be small hats, just like Ukraine and other various places. These banks and these people that's running everything are all tiny caps. Okay? It says Stockholm's Banco in Sweden in 1650s issued the first banknotes in Europe. All right. It says the Swedish motto of welfare economics. Number 4, Sweden pioneered a mixed market social welfare state, model financed through taxation. Okay, so they created the banknote and found a way to tax it. Okay. A major financial crisis in 1991-1993 led Sweden to create a widely studied bank bailout model used as an example globally. Now I typed in, it says Sweden issues the world's first banknote. It says yes, Sweden issued the world's first European banknote. Okay. First widely recognized European banknote was issued in 1661 by Stockholm's Banco, founded by Johann Palmstruch. Before this, people mostly used coins, which were heavy in Sweden because the country used large copper plate money. Now, it says the banknote is the currency in paper form. Why is this significant? Because it says what happened after the bank issued too many notes, causing inflation. Banco collapsed. Stockholm's Banco collapsed in 1667. This led to the creation of Sveriges Riksbank in 1668, which is today the world's oldest central bank still operating. So before the so-called central bank was operable, all right, you had what we just read. Inflation happened because too many notes were into the society. Just like now, the stimulus checks and all these different things that's happening, it causes inflation within the system, within society. The money don't make sense. The money don't add up to be what's being distributed or not being distributed. Okay? Now, I thought this was significant because it started in Sweden. And what's being pushed in Sweden right now? The CHIP, the Motb, another way of currency. Sweden, I typed in, when did banknotes come to America? Banknotes came to late 1600s. First banknotes in America, 1690. Now, this is way after, a couple decades after it was issued in Sweden. Follow me, because in Sweden, it was issued first. Just like in China and these different countries, they show these things to happen first. And then it comes to America. Okay? It says, and also, these notes were considered, where is it at? Damn, I can't find it. Man, let's see if I can read and keep reading. Maybe it'll come back to me. First paper money in North America was issued in 1690 by Massachusetts Bay Colony. These early notes were created to pay soldiers during a military expedition and are considered the first government-issued paper currency in the Western Hemisphere. Okay, and right, and this form of currency was government-based. Okay, they called it bills of credit, used because the colony lacked enough coins. So they would give you a paper that you could turn in to get the coins. Okay? But then eventually the paper itself became the currency or the value without having to turn it in to get the value in return, such as coins or gold or silver. Right? It says in the 1700s, other colonies followed. Rhode Island, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, and others began to issue their own paper currency. Okay? It says it financed the American Revolution. Now let's jump down. It says 1862, the first U.S. greenbacks were issued during the Civil War. Another significance, because we're in a time of war right now. And every single change in currency or the government always, if not all the time, came in the process of war, during war, or after war. So we're getting ready. That's what you're getting ready to witness. You're getting ready to witness what? You're getting ready to witness a change in a society, a change in economically, because we have war at the forefront. Okay. I said, where was the first central bank located? It said it was in Sweden. It was the first bank to be owned and operated by a government. See? Give me not who make the laws, who don't care. I don't care who make the laws, but all right. How does the quote go? So you see different forms of it here. But I'm gonna read this one. Give me control of a nation's money, and I care not who makes its laws. Meyer, I'm sure RAWCHAA. Give me control of a nation's money, and I care not who makes its laws. So it said the central bank became the first government operation, right? It said, where does it say? It was the first bank to be owned and operated by a government. It had early responsibilities similar to a modern central bank, such as managing currency and stabilizing the financial system. That's what it was supposed to do. So bringing all this home, all this came out of Sweden and then later into the States and things. Okay? It says Bank of England came later in 1694, further developed central banking functions like acting as a lender of last resort. So the government took over the central bank, which is located, one of the world's oldest central banks is located in Sweden. Also in Sweden, they were the first ones to promote a banknote, okay, to control the stability of the financial system. I say all that to say because they are also one of the first ones in the world where a whole community or whole communities with an S are all C-hip, all micro C-hipped, right? Now I typed in, is the US dollar based off the European banknote? It says It was based off the Spanish piece of 8, but it says the name and value come from the Spanish, but not European banknotes. It says European banknotes like Sweden's 1661 notes or later British/French notes influenced the idea of using paper money. So this influenced the whole world to use this system. It's the point. Just so how much more the digital concept of this system. All right. What percentage of Sweden is chipped? Or let's see, what percentage of Sweden is, what percentage of people in Sweden are is microchipped? Or should I say in Sweden have microchip in body? Let's see what they give us. Man, come on now, stop playing crazy. It says several sources report that a few thousand people in Sweden have chosen to have small micro C-HIP, RFID, NFC, near frequency communication, I believe that's the way, implanted under their skin. It says, why can't convert that into a percentage of population? The total population of Sweden is about 10.5 million. Let me see what Google get. So they giving it kind of the same thing, between 4,000 to 6,000. Obviously, they give you numbers. You got to round up or round down. It's way more than that. You see the C-HIP in the hand, but the population, let me see. It says, I typed in what percentage of Sweden is cashless. It says Sweden is predominantly cashless society, where less than 10%, you hear this? This is 10 point something million people. Less than 10% of all transactions are made with physical money. While only a small percentage of purchases are now in cash, the country is not entirely cashless, and authorities have recently encouraged citizens to keep some cash on hand for emergencies. It says high digital adoption. The majority of population uses digital methods like cards and mobile payment systems such as Swish for most purchases. Government recommendations. Due to national security concerns, right, they push in this sense of a T era, all right, concerns, national concerns, threats from the outside or inside. Due to the national security concern, the Swedish government has advised citizens to keep cash available for situations like power outages or other crises where digital systems might fail. But I thought it was going to go a different direction. But the point is that that's what they're pushing, the means of concerns in terms of hacks and this, that, and the third, right? So again, less than 10% of the country in Sweden is cashless. The same country that promoted the first central bank as well as the first formation of the modern currency that we currently use, which is a banknote. If this got pushed then, how much more now in terms of the digital aspect of the currency and how it's beneficial, where a whole society of people, over 80% of the people, 90% of the whole Sweden is cashless, which means it's easy for them to use the digital infrastructure and its primary source, which is the micro C-HIP that's planted under your skin. Okay? And what did this dude say? Who has also planted a chip under the skin, and points out that now is the time to put chips in humans after almost 20 years of being put in animals. This is new news. This is the talking point. being micro C-hipped. Okay? See? These are the talking points. Said implanted micro C-hips could be used to verify C19 vac status. Bro. And haven't we been telling you about this? See, so I just wanted to bring out some quick information on that. Alright. Let me get a precept. It's Isaiah 42:9. Behold, the former things are come to pass, and new things do I declare. Before they spring forth, I tell you of them. So you thought the Lord wasn't going to inform us about this digital system, this digital monster that's spearheading the world right now, that's trying to devour the whole globe and also merge you in it and with it, making you a new species, literally making you unidentifiable or unidentifiable to the Most High. You thought the Lord wasn't going to tell us and explain this to us and break this down to us and give us the information regarding this and warn us of it? You crazy. No, it's not sin in all of its forms. No, it's not this. No, it's not play yogurt. No, it's not sleeping white women. No, it's not white cheese and rice. It's the tiny technology, the Motb. The mark of the beast is the Motb. The mark of the beast, that Motb is short for mark of the beast. The Motb, the mark of the beast, is the micro C-hip that's planted under your skin. Okay? So behold, the former things are come to pass, and new things do I declare. This is a new thing in the earth. No one ever has been micro C-hipped. But before they spring forth, I will tell you of them. I tell you of them. This was the Lord told us what happened. He would tell us of them, of the enemy, of the adversary, of the things and his plots and plans that he has. Unction, we have an unction from the Holy One, and we know all things. We have the outside to see. We have like nocturnal vision, being able to see in the dark. We see things in the dark, not like, quoting the scripture, but we see things in the dark in the sense of seeing the light. You know what I'm saying? We see the light, of what we need to see. All right. When it comes to receiving salvation, knowing our enemy, and all the other things as such. A lot of things we don't know right now. But we know 100% of the truth when it comes to receiving salvation. Point blank, period. And we've been warning you, we've been telling you about all of this. And I just wanted to show the connection between the two. That Sweden, is looked at as a model, as well as China. The two models to promote this infrastructure, which is the digital aspect, the digital surveillance, and to finalize that digital aspect and that digital surveillance, all right, to the smallest denominator, which are you, to bring this on to the tiniest formation, which is the human race in terms of surveillance, to get that close to you, right, which will be likened unto a spirit. That's the Lord being close unto us, because we are our spirits. He's a spirit. Esau way being close to you is putting a C-hip under your skin. That's the closest he can get to your spirit. That's the closest he can get to your body, your essence. You, to know everything about you and what you're doing, how you thinking, how you moving, and so forth. But the phone now, to prove that the phone is so vibrational now, everything right now is high frequency. Technology is, to the point that you can think about some shit. Literally, try it. It happens all the time. You could not. It's not. At first, it was a point where you could say something to a spouse or your brother or something, or brother. You'll be talking about something, and then it pop up on the phone, right? Because we understand it's microphones, so they listen. But now to the point they got these phones so advanced through the spirit and power of YAHWASHI on the left hand side. They got these things so advanced now that it's actual. They're bringing it to life to the point that now you can think about something in your mind, that the vibrations from your mind connects with the phone, and an ad will pop up of something that you were thinking. You don't even have to say it no more. But it's going to be perfected when the C-hip is in you. That's when you're literally connected to the greater things, where they don't have to so-called worried about schisms and all these different things, right? They constantly want to so-called update humanity, where they're going to be able to really update humanity when they put that C-hip in you. Like these phones got to update every goddamn year and every 6-7 months. That's how you're going to be, right? Which means that will make you what? A new species. You're no longer created of YAHWASHI or by him. You're created by Esau. He's playing God and you are his creation. Merging man with machine is a new creation. A new God on the earth. You think the Lord gonna let his name and his essence be pushed out by something he created? No. That's why Esau has an end. He's the end of the world. Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth, man. So I just wanted to bring out this information. So I can't bring out a lot of precepts, but I just wanted to bring out some of this information. And Lord willing, it was edifying. You could get out of it what you get out of it. And Lord willing, make a land back or whatever. You know, but before these things spring forth, the Lord tell us of them. All right? Whether they be new or whether they be old. It doesn't matter. The Lord warned and instructed his prophets to be able to convey the proper message and the essence of that message to its total degree, so that when he enters in, there's no schisms, there's no what about, there's no it's what it is, and you were warned of what it is. All right, Esau's downfall, Jacob's rising, Yahawah's entering in with that salvation, the kingdom of heaven being established and put on the earth. All right, and order being established on the earth. Y'all going into subjection. Women, we right, women right, and so forth and so forth. Lord willing, is edifying. I'd like to give all honor, glory, praise, worship to Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, RAWCHAA, HAQADASH. Double honors to our apostle, Elder Bishop, Great Millstone, rule well. Peace, citation to the hopeful elect. Till next time, Motb, blah, 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 blah. Shalom.